How's it going, everybody? This will be another crypto video update. This is sponsored by Delta Exchange. All right, so if you want these videos to come out every week, make sure to sign up using my referral link. Okay, so let's get straight to it. So we're gonna start off with first just quickly looking at S&P 500 and the dollar chart. Okay, so I posted this as well in our Discord, and you can see how I was expecting price to come slightly higher, and we responded to the first area here of liquidity, okay, and we're now seeing a sell-off. So we're basically just rebalancing this last weakness of this leg, and it started with the bad news, the earnings coming out with Facebook and whatnot. So overall, I think this whole area above here is the big problem region. Now, I'm not really certain about this particular level. I just have to see how things are responding. But nonetheless, you can see how the dollar chart as well, massive sell-off coming towards this particular resistance. So I didn't see that one coming. I thought we might price do a small pullback and then continue higher, as we already responded to that price level. Okay, so I didn't expect this kind of a sell-off, massive sell-off, huge squeeze on the Euro USD chart. So let's take a look here. So you can see how I was expecting, some kind of a resistance on buyback, potentially moving lower in towards these key levels. But, we're now just getting this massive squeeze to the upside, absolutely insane. And we have seen here a gap, okay? And I think we're most likely going to fill that in. So seeing this kind of flows, I think makes it slightly difficult, and you're seeing the oil squeeze as well. So we're having S&P 500 down, oil up, dollar down, okay, and Bitcoin and crypto fairly flat at the moment. So let's go higher and just take a quick look at Bitcoin. So on an 8-hour chart, or let's go to a 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, you can see how we are basically now retesting the monthly 2-hour chart. I think it's better. So we're basically just responding to monthly and weekly open here. So we could potentially see, a sort of a resistance here playing out. Now, the issue here that I'm seeing more or less is that this level here looks fairly strong reversal since price, swept the lows, failed to drive lower, tried again, okay, and then we had more or less 3 times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, basically trying to break lower, and then we had this sort of a buyback, okay, and then this level here becomes sort of a reversal point. All right, so we're seeing a fairly strong reversal, and at this point you will see this reversal will fight basically, or that liquidity right there will fight the liquidity resting a bit lower. So we'll see how we will respond and how these levels will play out. Right, so I'm not really certain about the general direction, but what is important to understand is that if you start trading above at least reclaiming monthly open, most likely we're going to start trending towards the end of the month. All right, most likely we're going to see a fairly aggressive trend, in my opinion. All right, so or else we're going to see price responding, and then we're going to continue that sell-off. And even if you look at the volume profile, you're seeing here that we have a fairly massive gap. That gap represents the weakness in that candle, and you also have that weakness, right? So just putting on sort of a candle, you can see that if price now first starting to move above here, price will be fairly aggressive. So you shouldn't really expect any massive pullbacks because the pullback has already happened, right? So then this should be a fairly strong reversal point, right? So that means that it should be an aggressive candle. So that's what we're looking for on Bitcoin. So if you're going to take a look at some of these other charts, right? So I'm trading FTM a lot at the moment. So I'm just scalping. This is a lower time frame. We can click first go to the high time frame just to resonate. Where we are within the defined price structure. Let's go to the 6-hour. So basically, what we are looking at is that we're having this consolidation. Okay, clean SR, another consolidation, and I'm hoping to get one last movement there to the downside. Okay, so that's what I'm watching. So these are the lows. You can argue, just you're getting, sort of this wedge formation is basically just price compressing, okay? And if you start breaking lower here, you will see an aggressive sell-off because price is holding a lot of liquidity. And on the other hand, if price fails, okay, and we start, moving higher without getting any significant pullbacks, you will then see price reaching this level of liquidity. Take that out, okay, then we're looking for the next one as we're having a larger void there on the candles, okay, and then we will see how price unfolds. So if you're getting a reversal within this structure, okay, and we creating here sort of another layer, okay, and then you can see price coming back out all the way back towards all time, okay, but we will see how that unfolds once we get there, right? So if I put everything on, this is my first take profit as a short scenario, and this is more or less, the bulk of liquidity where I expect price to form sort of a high time frame support. So let's go to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so this is what I'm watching basically. Okay, so this is the layer I'm watching this. There are a few levels, 15-minute chart. So on very short term, okay, potentially getting here a break in market structure. I'm looking for, or I'm in a very small short position from these levels, looking to take price back down towards. Give me a second. Towards this particular support. Okay, that's what I'm watching, and then we'll see how price responds. Maybe take a long backup or hold for a reversal, depending, because you also have NFP. If price doesn't do that, and we get an expansion into NFP, I will take a small loss around around this price level. That is also the 70-80% retracement. So if this price level doesn't hold for a further sell-off, we will see price extend here and then start moving, extending back up, right, in towards this high time frame consolidation. Okay, so that is what I'm watching. So I think should be a decent shorting opportunity from these levels, potential long from that levels, and these levels could also be some short, right? So that's just some very short term trade. So if you start breaking lower, I also keeping in mind the 8-hour high time frame potential short scenario moving lower, but we're having some decent pin bars, even though they don't matter too much. But we do have 1, 2, 3. 3 pin bars on the 8-hour chart, right? So it could result in a fairly large squeeze in towards 2.2, right? If we do get that squeeze. So we're also having on one, which I've been watching, fairly similar. This as well, we're trying to reverse price at that level. If we do create scenario where we are reversing, you will see a fairly aggressive move because we have a very inefficient move driving lower, but we're still just making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, okay? And if it goes, I think it's reasonable to look at some of these levels. At least, I think this is likely 1.1. 0.1 should be a reasonable level, this one as well. Okay, so we just have to watch as price falling in towards these levels, right? So, you can just say, so we're having these lows should be taken out. We have some lows there that can be taken out. Okay, so we're just making consolidation to see if price will extend lower. Okay, so very simple terms. What I'm watching, Cosmos. Nothing really. Okay, I think I'm just waiting for this high time frame setup to potentially play out, right? So if it plays out, I think you're going to be a fairly decent trade setting up. Ethereum, nothing more than we are actually looking fairly decent. Even if you go to a 3-day chart, you can see price is just rebalancing this last leg, right? So Ethereum at the moment looks one of basically acting as the strongest one. You see repricing in that leg. So I think 30,000 is a decent level, but this whole consolidation, so we just have to see once we get there. So I just want to mention one thing. I mentioned this to our premium group as well. So in general, what I want to focus on is that some of these price actions that we're seeing when we're getting this leg is that you're having small pin bars, okay, or small bars, and then you have one larger expansion candle, okay, and then people get extremely bullish. If the next one wipes it all out like that, usually then you get sort of a continuation of price moving lower. All right, so that is what I'm always watching for, is that next candle, right? So if you get that expansion, so let's say you get an expansion like this back in towards 3K, if the next candle closes, for example, back below 2.7 or 2.8 or whatever in this kind of a fashion, usually price then start just to extend lower. Okay, so basically that means that you're just giving back more or less all the profits, right? So it's prices engulfing, you know, on the downside. So you can just make a very simple here. So you can see as price it came in from this level. Okay, so it looks like price is potentially forming, you know, a bottom. I was tweeting about this as well. Now on the next candle, look at this, okay, looks good, and then you get the next one. So you see how that candle wipes everything off, right? So you're having one bullish candle, and then the next one is basically the same size of it, right? And then as price continues, you're seeing, okay, so are we getting a retest, right? So then you're looking at the first level right there, okay, which is, you know, call it the 70 to 80% retracement or whatever, and then you see how price responds, right? So if that doesn't hold, give me a second there. So see that how price comes in towards the highs, and then you're getting that sell-off. And once you're seeing that sell-off, okay, this is when you get extremely cautious. Okay, so if you can't hold this bid, if price starting to reject this level, you assume price will continue lower. So you see that, and then you get that. So when price is sitting at the lows, probability is usually extremely small for continuation to the upside, and you see often price just gaps down. All right, so then you see price gaps down. All right, and this is something I want you to focus on as well. So when after price gaps down, price rebalancing itself out, right? So you're seeing just a rebalance of that last leg. So it's a retest. So what I'm saying is that if price moves up and you're seeing a fairly large red candle followed at that point, and price coming all the way back down, okay, you don't want to bid that until you see more of a reversal basically in price, and you can use the other altcoins as a confirmation, right? So for example, you know, if you use if you look at if FTM is trading around 1.5, okay, let's go to, I just want to go back to the 8-hour chart, 12-hour chart, sorry. If FTM is trading back towards 1.4, 1.5, and we're seeing Cosmos around $15, and then, you know, Bitcoin is trading, let's say, around 32K or whatever, and Ethereum as well. And Ethereum as well is trading, you know, closing in some of the week towards 2K. Okay. You know, then you can start assuming, building a case that, okay, so maybe we have a bottom forming, or even if Ethereum only retest some of this level around 2.5, while Atom and FTM or whatever other altcoins are moving in towards high time frame levels, we can start build a case for upside. Okay, so I think that is it for today, guys. I think it's important to just watch these levels, right? And then if you start trading above monthly open and weekly open, don't be afraid to buy into that. Just make sure to keep, you know, a stop relative. Okay, so just a random example. So let's say, you know, we start trading above it, okay, and you're taking a risk to take a long, you know, and then, you know, you can have, let's say, something like this setting up, you know, just a simple 2-hour trade, right? And you're trying to get towards some of these higher levels. All right, so very, very, very simple way to approach the market when there are uncertainties. And you can also do the same, right? So you can flip a bit, right? So you know, you can have a short position running with some stops above there. There will be a lot of people having stops right there, so there'll be a lot of liquidity resting above the high. But regardless, then, you know, you can try to target some of these lower targets, as this would be a take profit one, right? So a take profit one, and then, you know, a final profit around 33K, for example, right? And if price, instead of moving lower, start, you know, showing bullish price action, really, you know, pressing the highs, you can flip into a long position. You know, it breaks down, you can flip into a short, depending, right? Don't be afraid to flip flop a bit during pivotal levels, right? Or just sit out and wait for something extremely clear. Okay, don't get stubborn on your own trades. Okay, don't think that you have to be right and you don't have to change. So you can change your mind how many times you want, right? As long as you manage risk. Okay, so that's about it for today, guys. Peace out.